6 goals in that matchup there. All right, let's go ahead and slide into some college basketball. Now, I know we don't have official March Madness right now, but we do have the NIT tournament, and we don't even have them listed on the big board here, but there are 3 games that I want to take a look at, and fairly familiar names. So let's go ahead and take a look at it. I have Wichita State taking on Indiana, and that's going to be a 7 o'clock Eastern tip-off in that matchup there. Now, the Hoosiers open the betting as the 5.5-point favorite. Total open at 138. And since those markets opened this one up, we actually are seeing a very steady and consistent fade of Indiana when it comes to the point spread. We're also seeing movement upward on the total as well. So the number moved down to 4.5, and the total moved up to 138 and a hook. So once again, the Hoosiers open 5.5 down to minus 4.5. Total open 138 up to 138 and a hook. Romeo Langford is questionable with a back injury for Indiana. They've also covered just 7 out of 19 games when laying the points this season. They're covering just 25% of their ball games at the current number as well. If you need any more fuel for the fire, Indiana's also covering just 22% of their games, taking on teams between 500 and 650. That's a win percentage, of course, and they're covering just 28% of their games, taking on teams allowing 67 to 72 points per contest. Now, total-wise, Wichita State, the Shockers, are just 36% to the over in their games at the current posted total. I'm going to purchase the 0.5 point, slide it up, and take the Wichita State 2 in the honey pot, 1 in the balloon knots, +5, and the under 138.5 in that matchup there. Once again, Wichita State +5 after buying the 0.5 point, and the under 138.5 in that matchup there. Next game, Florida International taking on Green Bay, and that's going to be an 8 o'clock Eastern tip-off in that matchup there. Now, the Phoenix of Wisconsin Green Bay, the Phoenix opened the betting as the 4.5-point favorite, total at 177. And since those markets opened this one up, no real surprises here as we're seeing movement both downward on the spread and the total. That number moved down to -4, total 176.5. So once again, the Wisconsin Green Bay Phoenix opened the betting as the 4.5-point favorite, down to -4, total open 177, up down to 176.5. Right now, FIU, the Panthers, are +150 on the money line. Now, if you like FIU in this matchup here, they are covering 67% of their games at the current number. They're also 8-4 against the spread in their last dozen, taking on teams giving up more than 72 points per contest. Florida International ranks 10th in the country in offensive scoring on average. They also rank 13th in road scoring on average. Now, Wisconsin Green Bay, on the other side, completely different story. They're covering just 40% of their games, taking on teams between 500 and 650. They also rank 101st in offensive rebounding and 254th in points allowed on average per game. Now, total-wise, Wisconsin Green Bay is 6-3 to the under in their last 9. FIU 5-3 to the under in their last 8. I'm going to lean toward another underdog in this one. Give me FIU, Florida International +4, and the under 176.5 in that matchup there. All right, next and final game for our college slate. And once again, we're looking at the NIT tournament. It is going to be Creighton taking on TCU. 9 o'clock Eastern tip-off in that matchup there. Texas Christian opened 3.5, total 152. And since those markets opened this one up, we're seeing movement upward on the spread and downward on the total. The number moved up to -4, total moved down to 151.5. So once again, TCU opened 3.5, up to -4, total open 152, down to 151.5. 51% are leaning Creighton, 54% shaded toward the under. Right now, the Jays of Creighton are +$1.50 on the money line. Now, if you like the Jays in this matchup here, they've been very good against the number as of late. They are 7-1 against the spread in their last 8. They rank 7th in college basketball in 3-point shooting. And when it comes to the total, Creighton is 7-3 to the under in their last 10. So 70% to the under in their last 10 games. All that said and done, another dog. Clean sweep of underdogs for me. Give me the Creighton Blue Jays. Well, it's actually just the Jays. Give me the Creighton Jays +4 and the under 151.5 in that matchup there. All right, let's go ahead and slide into some NBA action. That's what it's all about. NBA, a heavy hitter for Brock Page Productions. Anyway, let's take a look here. 7 o'clock Eastern tip-off. We have Boston taking on Cleveland. And like I said, 7 o'clock Eastern tip-off in Cleveland. The Celtics open the betting as the 6-point favorite. Total open 216.5, and since those markets opened this one up, we're seeing movement upward on the spread and downward on the total. -6.5 and 216. So once again, Boston opened 6 up to -6.5. Total open 216.5 down to 216 even. Right now the Cavaliers are +210 on the money line. Now when it comes to the injury report, we have Al Horford, Brown, and Tatum all listed as questionable for the Celtics. And Kyrie Irving is out tonight. He will not be playing. Now on the Cleveland side, Dellavedova's out indefinitely with a concussion. He's in and out of games all the time. The guy, I don't know how he's in the NBA. Dellavedova and TJ McConnell for the Sixers. How are those guys in the NBA? But anyway, Cleveland, regardless of Dellavedova's big loss here with his head injury, they're still 4-1 against the number in their last 5. They rank 9th in home defensive rebounding. Meanwhile, on the Boston side, they've lost their last 4 straight. They're also just 2-7 against the number in their last 9. And they rank 24th in the NBA in road offensive rebounding. Now, total-wise, Boston is 6-2 to the over in their last 8. Cleveland 3-2 to the over in their last 5. I'm going to lean toward the home dog in this one. I'm also going to purchase the half a point, buy it up, and take Cleveland +7 and the over 216 in that matchup there. And before we go ahead and move on, just want to take a quick time out and just welcome you to the show. Got some lines and personal leans out for Tuesday's NBA, college basketball, and NHL action. Of course, college basketball, we're covering the NIT today. But anyway, before we go ahead and move on, just want to quickly remind you to check out my website at patreon.com/BrockPage if you're looking for more content. There's plenty of free content on that website. It is patreon.com/BrockPage. Link is in the description section below if you want to check that out. All you got to do is open up the description section and click the link. It'll take you right to it. And of course, if you are a current patron of mine and you are watching me right now, I simply cannot thank you enough. You most certainly make it all worth it. All right, let's go ahead and hop right back into some more lines of personal leans. All starts Eastern Standard Time. And on deck, we've got Spurs, Hornets, 7 o'clock Eastern tip-off in Charlotte. The Spurs open -3 on the road here. Total open 220.5. And since those markets opened this one up, we're seeing movement upward on the spread. Money on San Antonio. We're also seeing money toward the under in this one. Line moving downward on the total. We're looking at 3.5 and 220. So once again, San Antonio open -3 up to -3.5. Total open 220.5 down to 220 even. 60% is leaning towards San Antonio. And at the moment, Charlotte is +135 on the money line. Now, Charlotte has a whole bunch of guys on that injury list. We have Parker Batum and Kid Gilchrist all listed as questionable for tonight's action. And Cody Zeller is out with a knee. Now, Charlotte, although they have a bunch of guys on that report, I'm pretty optimistic that at least 2 out of those 3 guys are going to play. Obviously, Zeller not. But out of Parker Batum and Kid Gilchrist, I think 2 out of those 3 guys will play, maybe all 3 of them. And if that is the case, I'm going to cap this game as if they're all in the action. Charlotte's 3-0 straight up in their last 3. They're also 4-2 against the number in their last 6. They rank 3rd in home free throw percentage at 81%. So if they can get to the line, they're going to accumulate a lot of scoring from the stripe. Charlotte's also 10-5 against the spread at the current number, and they're covering 62% of their games as the official home underdog. And one more thing to note, Charlotte ranks 8th in defending the 3 ball at home. That's very important. because San Antonio has been hot shooting the 3-ball this year. Now, San Antonio's dropped 2 out of their last 3 straight up. They've also failed to cover in 2 out of those 3.